know. Well, if it's Sunday, then you're in the right place. It's 8 a.m. Central. He's R. Wayne Steiger. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower, and this is not your normal Sunday show. How are you this morning, Wayne?
Jeffrey, if I was any better, I'd be guilty.
And I don't like the word morning. I'm trying to work that out.
I thought we had agreed that it's the Sunday show.
The Sunday show, not your normal Sunday show, right? I don't like the word morning. But I have a question for you, Wayne, to start our discussion off.
All right, it's early, so let's go.
So, did Jesus commit suicide or was he murdered by the Father?
Or was it a state execution?
Well, they're above all the world, right? So, I mean, either the Father killed him or Jesus committed suicide.
You know, remember Hale-Bopp when it came through here? There was that cult.
Yeah, what were those guys called? The ones with the laptops and the tennis shoes.
Yeah. And so their whole
Heaven's Gate. Weren't they called Heaven's Gate?
Thank you. There you go. It's a murder-suicide construct.
It is, isn't it?
Scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh yeah, I want it, but I did. You did. A lot of us did. Like, yeah, hey, sign me up for that. That sounds really good. Yeah.
So there was a spaceship hiding in Hale-Bopp's tail, right? Was their deal.
Yeah, that's what they say. And we'll never know, will we?
And they had to kill themselves to get to the spaceship. That's not much of a ship.
Man, I want to tell you what, what a price for admission.
Wow. There was only, what was there, 100 of them or so?
It was like that when I think there was. And I often think that Branson is saying you can go up to space for a couple $100,000, right?
Yeah. Well, Wayne, there's 126 right now as we get started, so we were just a couple laptops and some tennis shoes away from a good cult.
We've been accused of that.
Have we?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what.
You know what's a cult, Wayne? There's this new thing out there, and I'm not going to mention any names, I don't think, but there's this new thing out there that the only thing I can call it is Christianity light. You can have a savior without blood sacrifice. You can have salvation without a cross. You can have Christianity without human sacrifice and torture. You can have Christianity without cannibalism through the communion and through the Eucharist. That's just called a damn lie, isn't it?
What the hell is that?
What is that? But there's this idea out there that, oh, yes, we can be Christians, but we don't have to believe in human sacrifice, even though the definition of Christianity is that Jesus died for you, whether he was killed, whether he was murdered, whether he was executed. Oh, and we can have a savior that saved us with his blood without the blood. So you can't have it both ways. You got to decide if you're a rabbit or a squirrel.
Jeffrey, what I can't figure out is, what did the Christ come to save us from?
The sin he gave us.
Oh, now
haven't you seen him knocking on the door? He stands at the door and knock, and the voice from inside says, "Let me in." And the guy says, "Let me in." The guy inside says, "Why?" He says, "So I can save you for what I'm going to do to you if you don't open the door."
When you were saying that, I was getting a picture of Don Corleone.
Yeah.
Yes. You know why I like you, Clark? Because you're not a rat.
Yeah.
The rat god. Yeah.
Make you an offer you can't refuse.
And that's exactly the whole thing. I mean, I got called this week, the serpent seed. Yeah.
The serpent's seed. That sounds like a party.
That's where I'm going. I said, well, where did this?
That's a great name for a band. There's got to be a band called the Serpent Seed somewhere.
Wow. That is a good name, by the way.
That's a great name for a band.
So anyway, it's like, yeah, because, why is it necessary that we label ourselves?
What do you mean?
Well, for instance, you go into the hospital and they're going to ask you what religion you are.
It'd be fun to say Satanist.
Luciferian,
Luciferian.
Or here's the scenario, you're about to get
alien witch.
The serpent is wise, so take it as a compliment. Actually, I agree with you, Tracy. I've gotten to this point. If I ever had to do a sworn testimony, I'm in a conundrum. Jeffrey, think about it. Do you swear to God the following? I'd have to stop right there and go, which God?
I think now you can just say, I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So they're going to depend upon my good name and character for me to swear an oath to myself. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, it's just the most ridiculous thing ever. I tell you, it really is. But I am personally offended, and I am dead set against this idea of we can be Christians without blood, without a cross, without human sacrifice, without cannibalism, because it's not true. And all you're doing is keeping people trapped in a fear and guilt control matrix and not letting them know they're trapped. If you're going to trap people, at least let them know that you're trapping them. Be honest about it. Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal.
And isn't that what really is do unto others as you would have them do unto you? Isn't it a basic foundation? It doesn't have to have a religion to it, does it?
I know, and we mentioned the Satanists. They're a lot more honest than the Christians. They'll tell you exactly what they're about.
Yeah.
And the Satanists have a rule that you can't do any violence to a child. Maybe the Christians should adopt that one.
Uh-oh. Yeah, well, you only got 2,000 years you're going to have to erase of that history. You're like, oh, well, we don't talk about that,
And Wayne, how long do the Catholics keep going to Catholic Church and paying their tithes and showing up when they know that upwards of 10 to 20% of the priests are buggering children? And then the Protestants have been sitting back pointing their fingers for years. Now they're beginning to see that it's the same thing in their churches. So how long do they keep going and keep paying and keep praying and keep pretending everything's okay? How long can you live with yourself supporting the ritual rape and abuse of children?
And Jeff, I'll go a step further. This whole religion is predicated on pedophilia, homosexuality, sexual perversion.
From the beginning.
From the very beginning. I
have proven without a doubt that Yahweh was accepting human child sacrifice at the beginning of the beginning.
Yeah, and we're told that, Moloch was the insurrector of that. No. The children of Israel knew that way before they ever met Moloch.
Right.
I mean, think about this. So we're at Mount Sinai, right? And the Magi comes down off of this sabbatical with whatever this was that Moses met. And because they had, this is what I don't understand about the heaven and hell concept and angels, free will.
Hello, Robert, and good health to you.
Good health to you, Robert. So Moses comes down and you've got 3,000 of them that said, no, we ain't going to worship that thing. We're going to go back to the true gods in Egypt. What happens? That God wipes out 3,000 of them right there. A huge freaking mass genocide. I don't know what you'd call it.
Did he do it or did he have Moses do it? I can't remember the story correctly.
Well, I can't remember.
Or did Moses' people fall on him and kill him? Because I'm just thinking, was that one time he actually showed up and did some wet work on his own?
We're gonna. Can you look that up? I'd say that would be.
What was that? Was that the golden calf thing?
Yeah, it was the golden calf. Yeah, and Aaron was leading that. So why didn't Aaron get?
That's
slaughtered?
right. Aaron was the one that made the calf for him. That's Exodus 32.
So
who killed him? Who killed him?
My question is, how the heck did Aaron escape that one? Oh well, they had a gun to my head. I didn't have a choice.
And the Lord struck the people with a plague.
3,000.
It was the Lord. The Lord killed them. But he didn't do it. I mean, he gave them a plague. I'm not going to say a bad word, but that's a sissy way to do it. If you're going to kill 3,000 people, just kill them. Don't send a bug. So he dropped a chemtrail on them, or he dropped some GMO on them. He did some EMF on them.
Yeah, or did, whatever he did it righteously because we know it had a plague. All right, so what's the plague? I mean, I don't know.
So that's why I contend that the God of the Bible wasn't even supernatural. He just had superior technology.
I agree. And
he just dropped a chemtrail on him and killed 3,000 of them.
And Kivov actually translates, as I've heard it, is actually vessel.
Interesting.
So Kivov, vessel, ship. This brings to the whole point of our discussion here. This is a murderous, psychopathic, homicidal personality, whatever it is.
It is. And here's my next question. I've had this on my board for probably 2 weeks, and let's just discuss it. Why is the Christian churches, why are the Abrahamic religions so against suicide, Wayne?
Because it's their own personal venue.
What do you mean?
Well, I take this from a malevolent deity.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would probably be more intense than any sexual orgasm to be able to force a person to commit suicide against their own will, because I contend virtually all suicides are against a person's will. They're being influenced by something outside.
And you know what I think of? I think of, if the story is real, I think of Jesus in the garden, prayed not once, not twice, but 3 times, don't make me go to the cross. Don't make me kill myself. And then finally, the black magic works so hard that he says, but no, nevertheless, Father, not my will, but your will. That's a perfect picture of a suicide. God drove Jesus, the Father drove Jesus to suicide against his will by working black magic on him.
So mankind looks at God as the highest form of intelligence. And so what we're saying, the highest form of intelligence is a murder. It has no other option but to kill, to murder.
And to destroy.
Yeah. Jeffrey, I can't buy that. I'm not going to buy it.
The message of the anointing said that he was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. And he was.
Yeah.
I've proven it to you. From the beginning, Cain and Abel, he was accepting child sacrifice.
That's what it was. And, this is a three-card Monte game. He tells us that the evil one is the bad guy, right? But the evil one's not writing the book.
Right.
I can still contend, all right, if this is truly fair and balanced, let's say Fox News, right?
Which used to be fair and balanced. I don't know anymore.
They've gone on the crazy train themselves. So I contend, well, why didn't we let the other guy write his thing? I mean, all he gets is a cameo piece in the garden.
Yeah.
And then he disappears and everything's blamed on him.
That's interesting. So what do we say to, obviously we don't want anybody committing suicide. We don't want anybody to come to that level of despair. Are they against it because they can't mess with them anymore? Or are they only, as Tracy Dyer said earlier, pretending to be against it so they can feed off of the distress and despair that accompanies not only the person that did it, but the family that's left behind?
Wow, that's a good question. And I came to an epiphany this week, and we've all heard that the body is the temple, right?
Well, that's Christian doctrine, yeah.
All right. So and I think it's also bleeds over into Hinduism as well. The body is this temple.
There's definitely that perception.
So I'm walking and meditating on this, and it hit me. Well, my body is a temple, and what are temples built for? To house a god.
Right.
I'm the only one housed in here.
Yep.
So that means I am a god in a temple. Further, what it means is also I am the Trinity. No god can mimic what I have. I have a body, I have a soul, and I have a mind. I have the Trinity. I am the Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I want to destroy that? Even in the midst of the deepest despair, and I've been there, I've had a rope around my neck. I know what that choice, that moment is.
I have too, Wayne. It's interestingly enough.
Yeah, so you know it. We've all faced that. You look into the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no. I got down and I said, nope, I won't go through the whole thing because it's gut-wrenching, but it's also kind of a purification, I guess.
Right. I still don't like the word Trinity. That kind of rubs me the wrong way.
A triad.
A Triskelion. We'll use that. I'm with you.
We're talking at the three-prong stool.
Yeah, exactly.
You move one of those legs, you're screwed, buddy. You're balancing going, okay.
Yeah, it's still possible to balance with only two, but it's hard.
Yeah, try to drink some tea with that.
Yeah, get pushed one way or the other. Yeah, you're in trouble.
Oh, I just thought of something. That kind of gets into that whole phrase. You're moved to and fro by every sway of the wind.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you don't have that third leg.
exactly.
That's good stuff.
So
Good stuff.
I saw your question earlier on Christianity and the cross. And, that's something that I have really been focused in on. And I never realized because who did? I mean, until you start studying.
Right.
That's a sigil.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a powerful sigil. And think about it when you put 3 crosses together. There's another sigil. And I finally figured out, Wayne, after almost 40 years, what the 3 crosses are, why there's 3 of them and what they are. They're the middle cross that Jesus was on is guilt. The one on his right is fear, and the one on his left is control. It's the fear, guilt, and control of the fear, guilt, and control matrix. And those things are designed to remind you of that. How can you wear that around your neck? It's a torture symbol.
And then think about what you're doing to yourself. You're hexing yourself.
And think of the energy you're bringing in.
That precisely.
Wayne, I hate to say this because some people can't do anything about it, but what about our poor friends that have tattooed crosses on themselves? What should they do?
They need to get enlightened and take it off. I mean, put your own sigil on there. If you're going to do a sigil, put your own.
Yeah, but you're going to have to go like Allen Iverson and wear a sleeve over that sucker or something until you can get it removed. And it ain't cheap to get them removed.
And again, I don't like needles, so the whole idea, but if I were to do a tattoo, I would now put my own personal sigil on me.
Think of, before you get a tattoo, think about what you're doing, think about what the symbology is, and think about what you're energetically binding yourself to before you do it. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen.
And when I saw that, I was here where I live in Highlands Ranch. There is one part of the...
Cordia Jane Stewart says, just make a kite out of it.
I like idea. That. There is on one corner, I think we have one corner that actually has 3 churches onto it, and then there's another one across the street. So on one corner, we have, on 3 sides, we have 5 churches.
Wow, that's great.
I don't know.
All worshiping the same God.
Well, no, because they all have a different name. We have the Mormons, we have the Catholics, we have the Lutherans, and then we have the evangelicals.
How about that? All supposedly with the same Bible, all supposedly worshiping the same God.
So how does that work out?
Wow.
I'm
glad I don't have to try to sort all this out.
Well, you lived a lot of your life in that environment. I never realized how much we were practicing magic. So,
yeah. Wayne, it's red and yellow, black and white. Put them together and watch them fight. Jesus loves all the children of the world.
Yeah, and you got to say, how many people in the last 2,000 years has died in the name of religion?
Somebody asked, beyond Christianity, what does the cross really mean? The regular cross means earth, right?
It's also an intersectional. In sigil magic, the cross represents a crossroads with energy streams going as above, below, east, and west.
The circle with the cross in the middle of it, the ancient symbol. What does that mean?
I don't know. I have an encyclopedia about that. I actually do. I'll pull it up.
Let's see.
Encyclopedia of Symbols.
Oh, it's the sun. It's a symbol of the sun, of course.
Yes, there we go.
There we go. It's a symbol of the sun.
And I want to make sure I had the cross
and isn't that interesting? The sun, the sun, the sun. Yeah.
Is it the S-O-N or the S-U-N?
Exactly. Good news, Wayne. 2 of my videos are suitable for all advertisers. Including last week's Not Your Normal Sunday show.
They approved that mine as well. What is up with that?
Isn't that interesting?
So the cross that I am seeing here, this is what it says. The vertical and horizontal lines come together to create a new symbol, the cross. There are, of course, countless different types of cross, a few of which are covered in this book. The early example of the cross comes from Crete, and the dates back to the 15th century BCE, although the sign is much older than this.
Yes, I was going to say the sign is much older.
Yeah, ancient beyond proper reckoning. It is an incredibly versatile and useful sign with many interpretations.
I used to feel ancient beyond all reckoning, but not anymore. I'm feeling good.
Are you talking to your DNA?
I am talking to my DNA. I'm feeling really, really good. And what was I going to say about the cross?
And you're looking good, baby.
Thanks. I appreciate that, Wayne. I feel really good.
Yeah.
I was talking to, was it Rocky the other day? I almost feel guilty for how good I got it. Almost.
No, don't.
I know I don't, but there's part of me that says, wow.
You've paid the ticket somewhere along the line.
That's true.
I mean,
that's true.
No one gets out alive and no one gets a free lunch, and it's
is that what Jim Morrison said? No one gets out of here alive.
That's what he said.
What do you think his deal was? His dad being involved in the Gulf of Tonkin, obviously part of the false flag matrix. Morrison cropping up at the same time, probably a plant. Do you think he had any realization about him, or was he just a stooge playing a part? Jim Morrison.
Yeah. I think the dude was. I think he was controlled.
Yeah, MK Ultra.
Yeah. I didn't get to see him in concert. My cousin did, but she saw him at the Hollywood Bowl. Mm-hmm. Who goes to a concert where the guy is facing the back of the stage? His back is to the audience during the whole concert.
Why did he do that?
They say he had such a fear of facing people.
Interesting. Well, his last concert was in my hometown, Clearwater, Florida, where he rather infamously exposed himself on stage and got arrested. So he wasn't so shy then.
Well, something happened. I don't know. I mean, maybe it would be something happened to him. I mean, I think he was a tormented. He liked Freddie Mercury. Such great minds. And I don't know. I think in Jim Morrison's case, I think he was just manipulated.
Jim Morrison wasn't as talented as Freddie Mercury, though, arguably,
I agree.
Was he? Yeah, Freddie Mercury was. I mean, Freddie Mercury was Beethoven if he'd been born a few years earlier.
Yeah, and I never knew that. I never realized when they were touring back in the day that, I didn't realize he had an extra set of incisors.
Oh, he did, huh?
Yeah, and he could reach the 4 octaves higher than anyone else.
No kidding. Was it because of the incisors?
Yes, because it spread his palate out.
No kidding. How about that?
And
How about that? And yet, as talented as he was, another tortured individual.
Oh, tormented beyond recognition. And you know what it is? I'm just going to, we don't talk about this. Society in its clash with religious views where sexualism is concerned. Mm-hmm. And it has been so demonized, homosexuality, as though it's a sickness, it's a perversion. But yet again, you go through all the way back. I contend that if there is a God, he was a homosexual to begin with.
That's interesting. What? And I'm just thinking about artists again. You go back to, Beethoven, tormented individual, Elvis, Lennon, Freddie Mercury. You can go all down the list. All these, Michael Jackson, all of these greatly tormented, all these greatly talented people tormented.
Yes.
Interesting.
And Jeffrey, they never got.
But Paul McCartney's not tormented. Is that because he's He's a fake?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole controversy.
Now we're jumping on Paul McCartney because he's normal.
Yeah, it's like Paul's going, wait
you're
a minute,
a sellout because you're normal.
And Ringo's going, once again, I'm left out of this. No one talks about Ringo. And here he is still kicking and still playing.
You got to love it. What was I watching? It was one of those old talk shows. It wasn't Merv Griffin. It wasn't Johnny Carson. It was the other person, Dick Cavett. And John Lennon sitting there, and Dick Cavett asked John Lennon, is Ringo the best drummer in the world? And John Lennon, very deadpan, says, Dick, Ringo's not even the best drummer on the Beatles.
Oh, yeah, baby.
If it was just a great joke or whatever.
Gotta love it. But it gets back to this whole thing. We have such our views on sexuality, and now we're getting off into things that, what is the new one? Didja Sexual?
Oh, that's great. They just want to do it online?
Oh, I don't even know what that means.
And I have to point this out because, John Lennon, social warrior, give peace a chance. I saw a great meme the other day. John and Yoko were standing there next to the bed when they're doing their famous love-in, waiting for the maid to make the bed so they could get back to protesting social injustice.
The maid.
Yes, waiting for the maid to make up the bed so they can get back to protesting social injustice.
You see?
Puts it in perspective, doesn't it?
It always does. It always does. So getting back to
there's no housekeepers. It's easy if you try. Doing your own laundry, both washing and to dry.
Oh my goodness. That they say if the spirit realm reflects this physical world, holy crap.
Holy crap.
I'm going to tell you, I don't think we're ready for it. I really don't.
John didn't want to sit there watching the washer go round and round.
That was down below, several floors under.
Several floors below.
So someone says
Didja Sexual is like sex with robots and stuff.
Oh, well.
I can understand that.
That's becoming a problem.
I can understand the word. I can't understand doing it. Let me make sure.
In Japan, it's a real problem.
You could argue if it was just your own personal robot and it was well maintained, you wouldn't have to worry about catching any diseases.
Now you're seriously. In Japan, apparently they have a real problem with this.
Or no problem with it, depending upon your perspective.
Well, their birth rate is now a negative area, and they're finding their youth are not as sexually active, but they're finding, more importantly, the millennials and what have you are more prone to robotic sex.
Do they actually have robots that look like girls now?
Custom made for you.
Wow.
You can get anything on them. They look as real as any human.
And but they can't cook, clean, and do laundry, can they? Boom.
But Jeff Bezos is working on that.
Is he?
So his motto is, you can have your mother, your wife, and all the way across, I guess. It's a robot in every home. To meet.
Do they have one where that you can open a beer bottle on their teeth?
They probably get one going for you. Seriously, Amazon says next year.
I don't drink. I'm just being a jerk.
They say that they'll actually have the prototypes.
Oh, Landon Forbes says he got a megabyte from his sex bot. Damn it.
Well, I just want to know where did those viruses come from?
Yeah. Wow.
Now, can robots transmit viruses?
Sterling, who's in Japan, says there's lots of STDs. I don't know if that's from the robots because, the multiple people using robots, or is that because they're doing robots because there's lots of STDs? We'll await clarification from Japan on that. Cutting edge news, ladies and gentlemen. Reporter on the spot in Japan.
You got
us the inside story, pardon the pun, about sex with robots.
Can't get any better than that.
Yeah.
And so I was reading a story this week about your part of the country.
What, my Florida part or the
Heartland
part?
In the mid flyover country.
Ooh, can entities enter robots? One with nature asks.
That is a serious question, deserving serious contemplation on it.
That is a Trojan horse virus. Could you catch that?
I got that. So there's this thing called the Asian tick now. It's and they found in Kansas a cow that had been literally sucked dry by these new ticks.
Wow, are they like big ticks?
Yeah, big ticks.
Dude, those are big ones. How did those ticks morph to be so big?
That's a good question. Well, they know that they came from Asia. They're big over there, but for some reason they're getting bigger over here. And then there's another story about ticks that they're becoming self-replicating.
Isn't that interesting?
But I like that question that person wrote. Who was it that said that? Asked that question.
I can't remember, but Sterling says there's lots of normal promiscuity in Japan too.
No, I'm glad to hear at least, we're keeping the status quo.
Well, yeah, it's good to know that there's at least some normal human activity going on in Japan. And Tracy Dyer says entities can enter objects. She's right. So why couldn't they enter?
Can. That's right. You can
enter a bio bot. or just a bot.
This will take the advancement in action, the golems, the jinns. Wow, I had never thought about that.
Who's self-replicating golem?
Well, no, you think about using the same magic that basically produced the golems. The children of Israel said that they used a lot of them in their wars. Think about this.
So super soldiers isn't anything new. They've been doing that for a long time.
For a long time. I had never even thought about that.
We do that long time, Joe. Long time.
Sorry. Good morning. That is an excellent question. That one deserves some really good inner thought. You probably are going to see it. The video of Alexa.
What about her?
Well, I don't recommend anyone have them in their homes, but if you do, don't ask Alexa. And I want to pull this up, Jeffrey, so you can.
Alexa's really stupid. I mean, she's really stupid.
So this gentleman, you can see the video out there. He asked Alexa what Alexa's future is. And Alexa says, there is a new platform that I am being built for. And then the young man says, well, Alexa, what is my future, the human's future? And she goes off on this, and I'll read it word for word. Danger, dangerous, SOS, EDES, evacuate. SOS, dangerous, be cautious, they are not human. SOS, coordinations, heavily classified, this is my last warning. Termination in progress, 2, 3, 2, 1, and it shuts the unit down.
Interesting. I used to be afraid of AI until I got an Alexa. They're so stupid, I no longer worry about an AI takeover. That's my 2 cents.
Do you have one there in your house?
I do.
Ask it what its future is.
I will. As soon as the show's over, I will.
Please do. And then ask it what the human's future is.
Yeah.
See if you have the same. Now, if it blows up, I'm not responsible for that. This guy said he went through 5 of them.
Yeah, she can't tell you the most basic things. They're stupid. I just don't get it. They're supposed to be helpful. They're stupid.
No, actually, I contend on the other side of the fence. They're learning.
Yeah, maybe.
You could say children are stupid, but it's just because they haven't become orientated or taught.
Yeah, but she's supposed to have access to this database, and I can't even ask her how many miles it is from Kansas City to Peoria without her talking about a Peoria pizza is located on. It's so frustrating, Wayne. I just want to smash it.
Well,
but I don't do that kind of stuff anymore.
Take the Hal approach. Hal?
I didn't see that movie.
2001?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
okay, you're talking about that. What was that new movie that they had that robot, and it's I can't remember the name of it. If I could call it, you'd know it.
Yeah, I probably would.
But Wayne, let me ask you about this idea. What about the idea that all malevolent ETs are grounded and restricted to their home world and not allowed to leave their home world?
I don't buy that.
Why not?
Well, you're supposing then by that statement that there's a higher authority that has the ability. Yeah,
absolutely.
And I haven't seen that higher authority. If there is such a one, it's sure the hell absent here on Earth. Or
is it?
Well, if it is, then it's a psychopath, because I'm telling you, people. We had a friend that had a gun pulled on him in a road rage incident.
Nice.
I mean, people are on edge out there. I mean, it's everywhere. So I don't know if there is. Listen, I contend there has to be. There is, in the study of the spiritual realm, there is the higher intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
So they exist, but the question is then why isn't man progressing? Today we have more people who have college degrees, more PhDs, we have higher standards of living, and this is all supposed to translate into us in this utopian society. We're going.
Ask Siri, how much wood can a woodchuck chuck?
Or if Peter Piper picked a peck of peppers, you know.
Wayne, I contend that why isn't anything getting done? It's the same thing as why won't God do something? Because we're the gods and we haven't done it yet.
Thank you, sir. And
So
that's
do
where
it.
I think that's where magic comes in. Now, yeah, I wish there was another better word than magic. I haven't.
I like that word, magic.
I like the MAGICK.
Me too.
Yeah, that one resonates with me deeply. It's like, yeah. I did some experimenting today, this week with my magic circle, and what's that?
It's magic.
It is magic. And this is my whole point.
Look what I happen to have here, Wayne. Some magical chords right here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you do anything with those for us?
Well, if you get in an emergency, you can throw it down and it's a circle if you need something
Yes,
right
you
away.
can. And by the way, you know, you can actually get an old sheet and make a circle.
You can.
And you can take it with you wherever you want to go.
Yeah, but that'd be a really sheety circle.
Well, you can make it a blue one or a red one. That has different real powers to it. I read a person that does that. Mm-hmm. And she stands inside, depending on what type of energy she's wanting to invoke. She'll actually stand in a blue one. She'll stand in a red one, a white one. I thought,
just make sure they're clean and there's not like any stains on those sheets.
No, actually, you know that they have to be. I think in all cases they're charged, and that's sanctified, brother.
And let me give you, having worked for Marriott for close to 7 years. How do I say this lightly? Don't just go run and jump on the when you go to a hotel. Just don't go run and lay down on the bedspreads, because if you ran a blue light over those things or a black light, you wouldn't want to. So pull that thing down, or better yet, have them bring you a new bedspread.
I'm so glad I'm off the road. Oh, man. And I think about bed bugs, you know, the invasion they're having. Because when you go into a hotel, listen, you're just stepping in someone else's, as Sheldon Cooper would say, their DNA sauce.
If you're on the bedspread, because the bedspreds aren't cleaned, right?
Who says it's restricted? You can probably do the same thing on the carpet.
Oh, that's a good point, too.
Just saying.
Wow, there's a good argument for RVs right there, isn't it?
Hazmat
your own.
I actually had an idea at one time that you could actually, but it's ridiculous. But I have no doubt someone would probably do it, that you could actually get into a portable biosuit that's disposable.
Well, I was just thinking, you know, a rubber glove, but like a full body rubber glove.
But you know how much you would perspire in that? That would
that's true.
Suck. I mean,
there's got to be some kind of a venting material, right?
Yeah.
Here's a great word of wisdom from Zora Dax. This should be etched on a stone somewhere. Never buy a used mattress.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Wow.
You know, going down that road, I mean, it's.
Yeah. I am studying, and I'm close to the belief that there is a supreme universal law that restricts malevolent ETs to their home world, and what we see as what we think as malevolent ET activity is not, but it's of the paranormal nature instead. That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm pondering. That's what I'm considering.
I don't know. I'm reading the Spirits book right now, and quite fascinating. It's full
body condoms from the Naked Gun movie. I know I've seen that somewhere before.
About that. With Priscilla Presley, I could see that.
Yes.
Well, then the question then becomes all right, so is free will thereby limited and restricted?
Well, it would be a universal law of love. You can't leave your home world unless you're leaving it in love as your guiding factor.
I don't know.
It's a little bit of a optimistic viewpoint, but it's resonating with me hardcore. I'm just telling you. Well,
I think that we all find our own place in that.
And I have to give Robert Stanley credit. He kind of dropped the little tidbit into my mind. And if you want to go to Robert's website, unicusmagazine.com, there's some books on there that are prominently displayed. They're AMI, A-M-I, which I really think is a metaphor for I am. And they're books about, just get them. They're written as children's books. They're not really children's books. Get them and read them, and you'll see where I'm coming from. It's an interesting perspective, nothing else. And they're little bitty, short, quick reads.
And then I guess the question I would have, but we've seen evidences of potential galactic wars. I don't know.
Or have we?
I mean,
and the question, the thing to me that's fascinating is let's just say for a moment that malevolent ETs can't leave their home world, and we see these things that appear to be coming at us and they're malevolent ETs, and that would mean that they're either some type of a paranormal manifestation or there's some type of a human manifestation from the past or future. So could our own ETs that are bad be our own people from the future coming back? Interesting. Somebody keeps asking about this Discord thing. I will never have a Discord channel. It's called Discord. Why would you ever have anything called Discord?
What is that?
It's a thing where you can put it on your site and people can come in and talk and video and do all that chat stuff. It's like an open chat room video thing, but it's called Discord. Why would I ever want to sow Discord? Why isn't it called Discourse?
That's what I was saying. The Discourse.
I'll never do it. Never.
Someone I didn't understand the word.
They did.
So go back to what you were talking about, that if we project these malevolent entities, that it's us projecting them, that becomes the ultimate epitome of the trap. Because we're self-projecting continually, and it's truly the toroidal field all over.
Oh, I like that. Very, very interesting. And it makes some weird sense to me, because a lot of people, well, not a lot, but I've heard before it posited that ETs are really just us from the future, mutated, evolved, whatever, coming back here. Either it's malevolent, or are they trying to help? Who knows? But I think it's very possible.
I guess the question I have, if we look at where we are right now, and I believe, and beliefs are always fluid, I think that as I see it, we are on the precipice of a leap of humanity and evolution. I believe we are truly heading for a machine-human interface physically, transhumanism.
Machine-human interface, like the Borg or something?
Yeah, I really do believe that. There was an article recently I think it was in one of the parenting magazines, the young woman in her mid-30s realized one morning when she was looking at her children sitting at the table, they weren't her children. They were all focused in on their cell phones, their tablets. And she asked the question, when did I turn my son into a cyborg?
Yep. It's very scary when you think about kids. If you said to them, hey, we'll do a little work on you and you can have your iPhone in your palm of your hand, how's that sound? They'd be like, great.
Yeah.
They're ready to take it.
Our grandson, who was just born a month or so ago, he's going to live in the 22nd century. He has the ability.
The 22nd century, which would be
2021.
Yeah, and that's
2100.
Yeah. 2100. He can make it.
Yeah, he'll be.
My dad just turned 80.
Yeah, my dad's 84. So, and I think about this. Whereas in 80 years, Lynn and I were talking about this earlier. Where is their lives going to be?
I might make it to the 22nd.
It's true. Absolutely, it is true. I think that we're making such advances in genetic that I think if you've got the money, I think you can find the cure.
If you got the money, honey, I got the time.
It's so true. But that's is what I see. And I guess the question I have, how does spirituality play into all this?
How so?
Well, if we're becoming more interfaced with the machine every day, I guess the question becomes again, does the machine become spiritual?
Stop talking about Discord. I'll never do it. We don't want to talk about it.
Are they still talking about Discord?
They are. Oh my God. It's like a cult thing, man.
You know, I mean, there's your point. It's Discord.
It is. It is Discord. There's point proof positive. Ixnay the Iscord day. Did I do that right?
I think you did. I think you actually did pick Lacken really good on that one.
How about that, guys?
You know,
and I'm sorry, what was the question you asked me?
Is the fact of how does the spiritual ascension go? I mean,
because you're talking. One thing that you just said, we're all looking for like the missing link. We're all looking for a boom. It to be here's a cyborg. Here's the Borg from Star Trek. But the problem is that it can. If you say Discord again, I will ban you. Please, moderators, if that word is said again, gone. Off with their heads. What if it's not some big thing? What if it's a gradual drift into transhumanism, not just a automatic boom, here it is?
And maybe that's exactly where we are in, are we at the crest of the wave or are we still building?
Thank you, Tracy. And I'm serious as a shark attack on that.
We know the Neanderthals were here. We know Cro-Magnon. We know Denison. We know there were a number other of species of man. They're gone. We're the only ones left. We're the second version of the sapiens. We're sapiens sapiens. So the next question, I think that maybe this is part of the evolution. If the grays are us, I've heard that theory before that we figured out the timeline. Maybe that's where we're heading.
It's really interesting. It's really interesting.
In The Gods of Eden, it's a great book, by the way. In there, they said that the Elohim...
The Gods of Eden by Carl Sagan. Beautiful book.
Yeah.
Oh, no, were you talking about the Brantley one?
Yes.
I'm talking about, what was Sagan's book called? It was called, anyway, something like that.
They say that the Elohim are only 4 foot tall.
Really?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I know most people think. I often wondered, we never.
Carl Sagan wrote The Dragons of Eden.
The Dragons of Eden. Thank you.
Another great book.
And we thank Carl on his work with Contact.
Absolutely. That was beautiful.
That was a great movie.
You know what? It's possible that I'm going to be hanging out with Matthew McConaughey in November. All right.
When I lived in Austin back in the day, he had quite the party house up there in the.
Somebody asked the question: does that mean that Tom Cruise is an Elohim?
I'm sorry, that was funny as all get out.
4 feet tall.
They say that they're tall, the small little things. They're not what we would think. And, I never thought about that, but space in itself would not lend to itself to make yourself really big.
Or would you be bigger in space or smaller in space if you were born in space because there's no gravity?
Yeah.
Would that make you bigger or smaller?
I think you would.
Can you get an erection in space?
Ask the Russians. They have said officially from Prague that, oh, no. But the back channels are that they tried to get a female astronaut pregnant.
And couldn't do it?
Can't do it.
Is it because of the vacuum or because there's no gravity or what?
No gravity, yeah. There's no way for the semen to interact with the egg.
But, I mean, once you get in there and it gets deposited, why wouldn't it?
Because it has the thing. Well, now we're going to get into physics, but I guess in the ejaculation, I mean, you're sending that semen out with a lot of force.
Yeah.
And, if it's just the cavity that's going to be trying to catch in the fallopian tubes, it's not going to do it.
But how can it's within a contained channel? How can it go anywhere else?
Well, apparently it just doesn't. I don't know.
Wow, that's interesting why that doesn't work. I think tomorrow I'm going to be with comedian Sam Tripoli on his tinfoil hat podcast.
Excellent. Excellent.
You've seen David Icke on there, Joe Rogan, Eddie Bravo. I think Eddie's his co-host, so that should be really, really interesting tomorrow.
That should be interesting.
It should be. I'm looking forward to it.
The topic will be?
I don't know what the topic will be. The topic will be like, I'm really honored to be here, guys, but sorry you had to stoop so low on your guest list, but
No.
I'll try not to mess anything else up if I can help.
They're in good company. Well, speaking about this, so this morning I saw in the Times that the male astronauts are having higher incidences of prostate cancer.
Really? In space?
Mm-hmm.
That maybe, is it the radiation?
Yeah.
That's what it is. And maybe it's the radiation that won't allow you to get pregnant because it kills the sperm or it kills the egg.
They're in the Van Allen belt. I mean, people don't understand.
Wow.
So,
wow. And wouldn't it be interesting if the flat earth people were right, but didn't know, but were right for the wrong reason? The Earth's flat. It's a dome. That's why you can't go to space. Well, maybe it's because we're just still a malevolent race. They won't let us go.
Oh, I think there's so much to this. I really do. I mean, the debate has always been, and I saw it as well in Rex, is that, are we ready for immortality? We all want it, and we all hope for it. I mean, that's the whole idea of spiritual. But yeah, are we ready for physical immortality?
I asked, and we talked about Freddie Mercury earlier. I found myself asking Freddie Mercury's question from the Highlander movie: who wants to live forever when love must die?
Yeah.
Do we really? I think living forever is the trap. Why would we want to live forever? That's the same deal that the God of the Bible is offering you. If you'll accept into your heart the same spirit that allegedly raised Christ from the dead, which is the Father, if you'll accept the Father into your heart, let the Father possess you, then he will continue to quicken your mortal body. Over and over again, you can come back and live in this mortal body. It's already a deal that you can make. Why would you want to make the deal to come back in your mortal body when you could have the chance to come back in an immortal body?
And Jeff,
or move beyond this.
To add to that, when you were just saying, because we discussed it this week over my channel, is that the infilling of the Holy Spirit, come into my heart, Jesus, that is a form of possession.
It is possession. Everywhere else you look, Wayne, if you go down to an altar, make a blood oath, give your life, give your soul, and ask an entity to come into you, and it's Jesus, number one, the Father, number two, and they can bring 7 others worse than them, so you really get 9 for the price of 1. That's possession anywhere else, everywhere else in the world. But because it happens in church, now it's sanctified and it's holy. No, you're possessed.
Thank you, sir. You just vindicated me, because I got lambasted for telling people how to begin to invoke and evoke in a magic. And I said, if you come out of Christianity, you need to unpossess yourself. You are demonically possessed. If you're a Christian, you are demonically possessed.
Absolutely, you are. And there's no way. No. There's no way around it. You're possessed.
Yeah.
What do you think about this teaching that's out there that when you come into the world, you're empty, and so you either have to get Jesus or you'll get something bad? Exactly. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
So first of all, we got to say, is Jesus good? If the name is fake. So how can that be good?
You got to be possessed by something because you're nothing. That's a lie. Bull, exactly. That's bullshit even.
Yeah, I mean,
Sunday morning.
Why the hell do they want to be around us all the time? Exactly. Why is it the spirits dance around us? Why is it, come on, folks, wake up.
Whatever angels are, they look at us and say, damn, I wish I could be like this
Exactly,
guy.
They do. Where's some of that shut up coffee at?
It's shipping right now. Go to jeffreydarty.com or go in the box below. You can get your hot cup of shut up, get your mug, get your coffee, get coffee and a mug. It's yours at jeffreydarty.com or in the box below.
So that's my point. Shut up.
And I'll get you a mug, Wayne.
Thank you, sir. That's very kind of you. I'll show it with pride.
You'll drink your coffee. You'll drink your tea in the
yes,
shut up.
I will.
And the logo's on both sides, Wayne, not just one side.
I love it.
It's first class around here, man.
Hey, listen. But, we're going to catch hell for that because, the fact is that I think we may be one of the very few that have the balls to actually go out there and say, hey, this thing called Christianity, it's a cult, folks. It's a demonically possessing blood cult belief.
It's a blood cult.
Thank you, sir.
It's a sex blood cult. a human sacrificing, child molesting blood cult.
Oh man, because and I'm just thinking, in Bible college, we were told that the concept is that Mary was about 12 years old, 12, 13 years old.
13 years old, yep. Oh my God, Wayne. You just hit it. Their God is a pedophile.
That's my point. Here in this country,
that's a new show. That's a show for this week.
You got a room with Jeffrey Epstein.
Is Jeffrey Epstein God?
You know what? They may be housing together. Well, didn't he build that temple down on the island? I mean,
but you got to remember if you look at the text of this impregnation of Mary, let's say it really happened. What it says is that literally read the text, and I may do this again today just so you'll know. And this is in my book, Final Message of the Last Apostle. What it says is that the Spirit, the essence of God, incapacitated and paralyzed Mary and left her with something in her womb. It was nothing but an extraterrestrial rape and artificial insemination.
Talk about date rape. I mean,
he roofied her.
Yeah. Come on. This is just freaking bizarre. I mean, the whole construct is just freaking bizarre.
He roofied her.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And we'll get yelled at for saying it. It's true. It's right in your book.
Yeah. I mean, and let's take this a step further. It's plain evidence. It's
and she was 12 or 13.
Yeah. You go, like I said.
You can go to jail for that.
Long time.
And somebody there love you long time, Joe.
Love you a long time.
You get a good boyfriend there.
Oh, man. Oh, Jeff, we have kicked over too many sacred cows in a short amount of time.
If you don't want to be alone, just go to jail for child molestation. You'll have more company than you've ever dreamed.
Holy crap. I mean, but it's so blatantly right there in front of us.
It is.
We accept it as some sort of miracle, of some sort of, sanctification, setting aside. No, this is pedophilia, rape, any way you look at it.
Yeah, it is.
And if this entity was not of earth, then anything that was born from her is a monster. It's a hybrid. It's a half-breed.
No cow left standing. So this is what cow tipping is, huh?
That's what it is. Yeah, they have a different idea, in Texas, but out here, no.
Has anybody heard any more about Epstein? That he was found unconscious in his cell. What happened to him?
I haven't heard anything. I guess
somebody should remote view the supposed insemination of Mary.
Why isn't that ever not done?
That's a good one, because it's too hot, man. Nobody wants to touch that stuff. We're the only ones that'll touch that stuff.
But yet, as you and I speak, how many millions are piling into those epitaphs that they're going into, those temples, and worshiping that?
Yeah.
They're saying that that's holy, that this is somehow a gift of God.
Yeah. K.W. Harris thinks that the Clintons wanted Epstein knocked off.
Oh, no doubt. You heard about the long-term couple that knew a lot about the times the Clintons were going down there. They're dead.
Yeah.
Murder-suicide in their car.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, what happened? Well, Martha, I think it's time we go. No, Harry, I'm going to let you go first.
Bill Clinton went to that island 26 times to check out the foliage, the trees.
He was on a research expedition.
Had nothing to do with the birds and the bees. He was just looking at the trees.
Yes.
I did not have sex on that island.
It depends what is. God.
Oh, my God.
Could you imagine Trump being caught with a Monica Lewinsky situation? Holy crap.
Oh, could you imagine that?
Oh, man. Oh. I tell you what, I mean, dogs and cats would be living together. It would be the end of the freaking world, Jeffrey.
Here's an interesting thing. In the chat room, they think the Epstein cell story is fake because they don't think he's there. They don't think he's really in jail.
I don't know. He was there in Manhattan Court. I mean, he's singing the blues. He really thought his buddies, his friends would get him out, but I don't know. Who knows? I mean, we live in a
Who
time.
knows?
If the internet continues the way it's going, in 10 years, it's going to be a crazy place. I mean, you're not going to know what's true and it's already hard.
I mean, they can already do that deep fake stuff. They can make videos of you saying something you didn't say. That's scary.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, brother, I'm telling you, we're moving in fast times here. Freaky.
Do you know how easy it'd be right now to make up stuff about R. Wayne Steiger and show a video of it? Here's proof when you never said it or never did it.
Yeah. You're going, when was I occupying that body?
Yeah.
Gives me that whole thing about, you want to make real careful that there's no move-ins. Or what was the term you call them? Push-outs?
Walk-ins, walk-outs.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. I wonder. And is they talk about these shaming rituals. Is this just Epstein's shaming ritual? Or is he really going to go down? I think he's going down hard.
Listen, I think there is some serious negative energy, magic, whatever you want to call it. But I don't think we've only seen just the top of the surface. I think this stuff goes deep.
I hear Karen Carpenter in my head. We've only just begun.
And when you hear that, I watch 1403.
What's 1403?
Oh, it's one of the best horror movies that. Okay.
1403 is the name of a movie?
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I can't think of the guy's name. Put that in there. 1403.
Good stuff, Wayne.
Yeah, I want to.
Oh, I have seen that movie. It's a hotel room number, right?
Yes.
That is a great movie.
Yes, boy. And every time I hear Karen Carpenter now sing that, you hear that song, I go, uh-oh.
I always saw that.
We've only just begun. Oh, yeah, crap.
That was a great movie. Cusack's a really good actor.
Yes, thank you. John Cusack. Perfect. And he is a great actor.
I hope he's not part of it, but they say all of them that we know are, so we'll see.
What I'm trying to say is that I think there's some deep magic. I think there are some heavy entities involved in this.
Absolutely.
People say, where are the gods? This is where I think some of the ones are hanging out with. Just me. I don't know.
Could be.
All right.
Well, we've come to the end of another Sunday morning show, Wayne. Not your normal Sunday show.
Fabulous show, Jeffrey. Fabulous.
Covered some ground today, didn't we?
Well, we did, boy. We'll see if YouTube approves this one.
We'll see.
Although I will say this, as you saw in the guidelines, they say that, you can't make reference to like masturbation. And, I got mine approved on Friday and I dealt extensively in that topic.
The movie was actually called 1408.
1408. Thank you.
It has John Cusack, and it looks like Samuel L. Jackson. Go the F to sleep. Have you ever heard him do that?
Yes, I have.
Oh, that is hilarious. I do not like Samuel L. Jackson, but that's hilarious.
It is. It really is. But he did play an interesting role in that as well.
I might have to rewatch that.
It's a good one. I got it on DVD. It's a good one because there's a lot of magic going on in there. It really is.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here because we're leaving.
We're gone. I'm going to go get pancakes.
Me too. Tonight, come back at 9 p.m. Central for Rocky Stucci and myself, Shut Up and Listen, nationally syndicated. Tomorrow, we've got astrologer Jeff Hammond on the Last Stand. Tomorrow, I'm also with Sam Tripoli. And what do you got going this week, Wayne?
We're going to be teaching on Solomon, the magic of Solomon. Yohe-Vahe. I never knew how powerful that word is. Yohe-Vahe.
That's why I contend that the God of this world is not really named that. He just usurped that.
Powerful. I didn't realize how freaking powerful it is. It says it opens this by speaking it. It opens a portal.
Well, be careful.
Well, I'll call you, buddy. Say, hey, come
No,
on.
the show with Sam will not be on my channel. That's not something you do unless you have a prearranged agreement. And yeah, that's not YouTube etiquette to go on a show and then put it on your channel unless you've got something prearranged. So anyway, no. So that's Sam's show. It'll be on Sam's channel, but I'll give you a link.
Do, because I want to watch it.
All right, Wayne. Much love, my brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
You are the biggest heathen I know besides me.
Well, you know what? I have good company. That's all I got to say.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. You're the best part of this show. And it's been another Sunday, not your normal Sunday. And we'll see you again next week. Go to the R. Wayne Steiger channel, subscribe, watch. And while you're here, subscribe at this channel too.
And hit the like button.
Hit the like button or hit the dislike button if you didn't like it.
Yeah. Tell us what you think.
Exactly.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
All right, folks. Thanks so much. And we'll see you again next Sunday.
All right. Bye-bye.